$1 million. That is a lot of money. You could buy 3.5 Lamborghini Huracans. I had to Google to figure out how to pronounce that. Or you could buy 9,536.5 pair of Lululemon leggings. Or if your heart desires, you can buy 899 iPhone 13s. Or if you are smart, you can invest that money into real estate. Hi, I'm Sarah Maslowski with KeyPoint Homes Group, a real estate team here in the North Metro Atlanta area. Georgia is typically ranked as one of the least expensive states to live in. This obviously ranks us based on the entire state's average. So now if you've watched any of my most recent videos where we talk about the North Georgia compared to South Georgia, you would remember that South Georgia has a significantly lower cost of living compared to the North Metro Atlanta area. But most of our state's residents live in the northern portion of the state where things are more expensive. Go check out that video to understand why it costs so much more to live in North Georgia, but nonetheless, your money still stretches much further here in Georgia than it would in many other states. We consistently get calls from people who are currently living in places like the Bay Area in California or Miami, Florida, who want to move to a place where they can get a lot more bang for their buck. So say you have $1 million in your hand and you want to invest in real estate right here in North Georgia. What can that buy you? This varies greatly based on what area you are looking to buy in. Let's see how far that money will stretch right here in the North Metro Atlanta area, starting with some of our favorite towns. So let's check out Gainesville. Currently on the market, there is this newly renovated 5-bedroom, 4.5 bathroom lakefront home listed for just under $1 million, right at $999,000. It sits just shy of 1.5 acres and it is on beautiful Lake Lanier with a dock on deep water. If you've watched anything about my videos about owning a home on Lake Lanier in the past, you'll know that this is definitely ideal. This house already has a dock in place and it sits on deep water. Those are two huge pieces of things that you are definitely going to want if you are buying a home on Lake Lanier. This home also has a large separate garage that's already been turned into a workshop. This is definitely a little bit of a unicorn and this is a great feature for this home. This cute and quirky home is a really good example of what you can expect to find on the lake for $1 million. People have a tendency to think that $1 million is going to get you this sprawling new construction with these amazing views on Lake Lanier, but even in a town like Gainesville, where the average sales price of a home is currently $481,000, this $1 million, it's not going to get you that here in Gainesville. It's definitely going to cost you well beyond that median sales price to find a home on the lake with a dock, much less one with a deep water. So with that being said, if you aren't looking to be on Lake Lanier, that $1 million will get you a lot further in Gainesville. Let's check out this home. It has 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and it sits on a whopping 24 acres of land. You can get $1 million house on the lake, or you can get $1 million house with 24 acres of land. Now this house has a saltwater pool, has an unfinished basement, and several additional buildings on the property to use as workshops. And that 24 acres is a huge piece of land to work with, whether you wanted to have a small Harvey farm or have horses or just wanted to be secluded and not see your neighbors. This is definitely the house that's going to allow for that. Now, another popular area that we cover a lot here on this channel is Alpharetta. The average sales price for a home in Alpharetta in August of 2022 was $693,000. That is $48,000 less than it was the month before. So you've heard me talk about Alpharetta time and time again on this channel. It is a favorite child of the Northeast Metro Atlanta area because of its great schools, great shopping, etc. You have to check out this video if you have not watched anything on Alpharetta yet. There are currently 78 homes listed in Alpharetta for $1 million or more. So check out this listing. It is a dreamy Southern style home that was originally built in the 1860s and it has been reimagined in the early 80s to its current aesthetic, and it is on the market for just right under $1 million. This house is on 1 acre of land, 1.5 acres, and it has 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. You have a very private wooded lot, and you also have a detached 2-car garage, and of course you have that classic Southern wraparound front porch. Now this house sits right on the Johns Creek Alpharetta line, so Zillow thinks that this house is actually in Johns Creek, but it's actually an Alpharetta address. This home is incredible because you've got all of the southern charm and a pretty decent sized lot as well. And with it being in such an awesome part of town with easy access to all the perks that both Alpharetta and Johns Creek come with, this is such a gem. Here is another house in Alpharetta in the very popular Windward subdivision. Now this home is currently listed for $1 million, and this is definitely more typical of your Alpharetta home. It's got 6 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, and it sits on just over half of an acre. And this house is just shy of 6,000 square feet, and that includes a full finished basement. So you're getting a lot for your money here. Now, it is a bit outdated and needs some fresh paint, but since this community was started in 1985, this kind of look is pretty common, and you have a great opportunity to come in there and make this home your own. Now, we've talked about Windward before. It is one of the most popular neighborhoods in Alpharetta. It's massive. You've got 2,500 homes, and it's split into 44 different subsections. There's a neighborhood lake, and you've got tennis courts, golf course, clubhouse, pool, playgrounds. It has everything. It is very family friendly neighborhood, and it's definitely sought after for all of these great amenities. All right, so what about Swanny? Currently, the average sales price of a home in Swanny is just at $681,000. Now, much like Alpharetta, Swanny is very popular with people moving to this area because of its great location. You've got great schools, and along with that, just like Alpharetta, it comes with that higher price tag. In fact, the average sales price in Swanny is not much less than it is in Alpharetta. Currently, it's only $12,000 difference. Now, the closest to $1 million currently was this home that was listed right at just over $1 million. This home has 5 bedrooms, 5 full bathrooms, and it has 1 half bath. It was built in 2016, so no need for updating this house. It has a huge primary closet. You've got a 3-car garage, and it is located in a fantastic gated swim tennis community. Now, we've talked about kind of like these popular areas, and one kind of hidden gem of the Metro Atlanta area is this town called Jefferson. So let's look at what $1 million can buy you in Jefferson. So this neighborhood is currently in the works in Jefferson, and it's only going to have 10 houses in a gated neighborhood, if you can call it that. These are going to be more like 8-acre lots, and they're going to be more of the barn-dominium style homes. And they are described as having beamed ceilings, a floating staircase, double fireplaces, a big loft that overlooks the living room, and a huge garage with enough space for 5 to 6 cars. Now, this specific plan comes in at $998,000. This is a new construction home on 8 acres that fits 5 to 6 cars. That sounds pretty incredible, right? This really goes to show how different areas around North Georgia are price-wise. Jefferson is definitely a more rural town compared to Alpharetta and Swanny, and it doesn't have all the amenities and shopping that you're going to find in those towns. Read, it's not going to have a Target, it's not going to have a Starbucks. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that's kind of like my go-to thing of determining like how big a town is. But if you would prefer to have a big old house on a big piece of land and not be in the middle of all the hustle and bustle, you definitely should consider an area like Jefferson. Of course, there are so many factors that go into the cost of homes, but one of the biggest you'll find here in North Georgia is its location. You can change the way a house looks, you can even change the size of it. You can paint it, you can bulldoze half of it and rebuild it, but you cannot move it. If you have thought about relocating here to Georgia, give my team and I a call. We would be delighted to help you. And if you haven't already checked out this video, all about the pros and cons of living in North Georgia, make sure you check it out.